Hello, my name is Melikiel Finau, and I am going to be doing my multimedia project on abnormal psychology and its evolution throughout the ages. Before I get into the evolution of abnormal psychology, let us look into its theme, which is the historical and contemporary views of the abnormal. Now, how was abnormal behavior viewed throughout history? Well, it was viewed as a progression of beliefs, or superstition, to those based on scientific awareness, a focus on supernatural explanations to knowledge of natural causes. There were terms that were involved in this theme, such as exorcism, which was the primary treatment for demonic possession. There was also Hippocrates, who was known to be the father of modern medicine. He denied that demons intervene in the development of illnesses. He also believed the brain was the central organ of intellectual activity and were the cause of mental disorders. As we go through the evolution of abnormal psychology, you will learn what beliefs and superstitions were thought to cause abnormal behavior. To start off the evolution of abnormal psychology, let's begin with the Stone Age. During the Stone Age, abnormal behavior was believed to be caused by spirits that were thought to take over the mind, producing abnormal behavior. Releasing spirits was necessary for individuals to demonstrate the normal behavior. There were two common ways to release evil spirits. The first common treatment was called trephination, which is drilling a hole in the skull. The second common treatment was exorcism, which was a religious practice to evict spirits. These treatments were very cruel and harsh to our point of view in this century, yet it was something that the Stone Age considered as treatment for the abnormal. During the Middle Ages, mental hospitals were being established. Humane treatment of the mentally ill became popular because positive results for patients. Later in the Middle Ages, mass madness, which often led to hysteria, periodically took effect during the times of oppression, famine, and disease epidemics. Hysteria was believed to be a supernatural occurrence. Therefore, two common treatments were thought to be effective on mass madness and hysteria during the time. The first common treatment was leaving it to a clergy or religious practices. A clergy or clergies are commonly known as ritual or spiritual leaders. The second common treatment was used as a prescription of a concoction of herbs. Superstitious cures and spells were used as well for treatment. The Renaissance age was a very cruel and harsh period in my personal opinion. During this age, humanistic approach had taken effect and the evolution of the perception of illness adopts the thought of real illness. Asylums were created to keep the insane away from society. Their use of treatment was very harsh. Some treatments were the use of drugs, restraining an individual, and punishment treatments, which involved water and electric shock. The treatment, as you can see, was very harmful and cruel towards people who was put in asylums. On the other hand, the Renaissance thought that doing these type of treatments would help individuals find a balance between the body and the brain. The late 18th century is the total opposite of the Renaissance age. During this period, restraints and filth were removed, allowing patients to live in a safe and accepting environment. Healthy diets and better care became vital to patients. These actions helped build public awareness and acceptance towards the mentally ill. This period believed in rehabilitating the patient's personal character rather than their illness, because it will help better improve progress. During the 19th century, moral treatment, which was the rehabilitating an individual's character back in the 18th century, was abandoned, and mental hygiene took over. Mental hygiene focused on the physical well-being of the patient, but abandoned the treatments of the mental illness. This caused individuals who were mentally ill dependent on others for the remainder of their lives. During the 20th century, asylums were still in effect, utilizing harsh treatments on patients. Asylums became widespread and open to the individuals suffering from severe mental illness. During this period, scientists found that the brain was the primary link to mental illness. Treatment was minimal, and the harsh conditions caused symptoms to get worse. Fortunately, during the late 20th century and asylum reform began. Demands for humane conditions for the mentally ill and the deinstitutionalization began. Patients were now able to receive treatment outside of asylums. As you have learned, mental illness and its beliefs and treatments have had a drastic change throughout evolution. The original perception of mental illness was a supernatural possession of an individual. They were commonly given horrific treatment, such as the trepanation treatment. Today, scientists have found that there is a link in mental illness directly into brain imbalances and imperfection. Treatment can be as simple as speaking to the individual. There is also medication to balance the body and brain. Mental illness has been accepted more than ever because of the better understanding and its causes.